Well, the threat for severe weather is on its way. We're expecting one of the first strong storm systems of the season to move through the area tomorrow. AAA says with the quick switch from winter weather to storm season, there are a few things you can do tonight to make sure your car is ready to go.
We just came out of that extremely cold weather, which is very harsh for the vehicle's battery. If it's more than 3 years old, AAA recommends having it tested so you can replace it preemptively rather than have it die on you somewhere you don't want to be.
AAA also recommends drivers check tire pressure as temperatures warm or cool down. Checking your fluids like coolant's also a good idea when seasons change. Scott's here now to talk about this severe weather and this weather impact alert. It could be a little interesting tomorrow.
I think so. I think we're going to have a pretty messy, rough commute to work and school. And then we get into the second half of the day in which there are a whole different slew of impacts from this one storm system. Let's walk through it hour by hour. 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when the line of storms capable of producing some high winds, a little bit of hail, can't even rule out a tornado. That's when that's set to move into the area. You want to budget a few extra minutes to get where you're going safely come tomorrow morning. It is going to be slow going out there on those interstates and highways, and you want to have a way to receive a warning. Of course, our Channel 5 app's a great one. NOAA Weather Radio is another alternative for you as well. Whatever you choose, make sure to have a couple just in case one of them fails. You can be alerted to oncoming severe weather. Here's our risk zones. This looks a little bit different than it did this morning. New data came in. Storm Prediction Center said, hey, we're bumping that level 2 back up towards the north. Now includes everybody in the 5 News viewing area. The only exception in far southern LaFleur and a tiny sliver of southern Scott County in this level 3 potential. Now, this is all out of 5. So just for some context as to what we're looking at, you have a lot of different types of severe weather parameters that are necessary. A couple of which we'll focus on tonight is going to be wind shear. And I'll tell you, there's going to be a lot of wind shear, a lot of wind energy with this storm. It was windy today. Just wait till tomorrow, right? That all factors into this. One of the things that's lacking, and this is a good thing, is storm fuel. If we have higher storm fuel, it would be tough to dodge this bullet. And I'm not saying we're going to dodge everything entirely, but it certainly could be a lot worse if we had even a little bit more storm fuel. Here's what we're looking at hazard by hazard. We'll focus on the tornado first. Left here, this is going to be low. And of course, on the far right, that's going to be a very high potential. Right now, our tornado risk ranges from low north of Interstate 40 to elevated south of Interstate 40. That doesn't mean that the tornado potential is 0. It's not. We very well could have some brief, weak spin-up tornadoes on the leading edge of our storm line, but they're going to be just that, likely brief in nature. We'll track them just to be on the safe side. We could see a little bit of hail. I'll tell you, without abundant storm fuel, that's going to be tough to get. We are looking at primarily a wind event. This is going to be one of those lines that produces damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, and that's actual thunderstorm winds. There's non-thunderstorm winds that come with this system. We'll tackle that in a moment. First, let's put Futurecast to work for us. This is 7:30 tomorrow morning. Got a few light showers out ahead of the main line. Easy to pick out where the strongest parts are, where you find those purples. That's where we're going to not only have heavy rain, but maybe a little bit of hail mixing in there as well. We'll want to watch this leading edge very closely for signs of rotation. That's where we very well could see those weaker spin-up tornadoes. Tornadoes nonetheless. It's a real possibility going into tomorrow morning. Now, this is 8:30. Maybe you're about to grab the keys and head to work. You got to know you're about to be driving into some pretty gnarly weather. This is 9:30 in the morning. We're making some eastward progress. And I do think by 10, 11 o'clock, the worst, where you see those reds, that's off towards our east in parts of central and southern Arkansas. And that's just the first wave. We'll have an additional round of some showers, maybe a couple of claps of thunder tomorrow afternoon into the first part of the evening. And then on the backside of this system, I know I'm telling you, there's a lot to this. There very well could be some snow flurries mixing in late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. Ground temperatures being what they are, it's been really warm the last several days, should mitigate widespread accumulation, although some dustings on some grassy surfaces, elevated things, very well possible north of Interstate 40. We talked about the non-thunderstorm winds. What is that? Well, this area of low pressure is so strong, and I'm telling you, you can feel it. If you're one of those that you can feel the storm system coming, this is going to be one that's going to cause you some aches and pains, no question about it. By tomorrow evening, we've got wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. That's going to be common across the area, not only tomorrow evening, but going into Wednesday as well. You can see that low pressure system tracking across the country. I don't typically show you these pressure lines. It just looks like a whole bunch of spaghetti on my maps. The key takeaway is when these are tighter, when these lines are really close to each other, that's a really strong pressure gradient. You're going to have a lot of winds where those lines are really tight, and that is the case with this system. We are going to cool off with those winds out of the northwest come Wednesday. We'll struggle to get into the upper 40s in northwest Arkansas as that system pulls away. high pressure takes over and we'll see sunshine return by Friday. Temperatures set to warm up back into the 60s Thursday and especially on Friday. We'll have to watch another weak front moving into the area Saturday. It does bring a chance of a few spotty showers, cooler temperatures down into the 50s. And then we start to warm back up going into next week. Weather impact alert in effect all day tomorrow. Definitely have a way to receive warnings. I suspect we'll probably have a few watches and a few warnings before the day's over.